Hi guys, and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here, bringing you episode 4, 5 and 6 of the FARAWAY Paladin.
I feel like it felt like watching a kid's cartoon. It doesn't feel like an anime.
I totally disagree with this statement. Like, what? I'm loving the story. I'm loving the fact that they're talking about a lot of things.
We're just going to disagree then, I guess, this whole time. Because I also hate the way that the dialogue is written. It feels like having Will describe his feelings about his past life and his worth in his head, then immediately saying it out loud again to the other characters is really pointless. So instead of making us feel for Will, the repetitive nature of the dialogue just makes it seem really dull and lifeless.
Wow, okay Ruka, like listen, I get that the repetitive nature makes you feel that way, but for me it kind of cements it. It makes me feel like, yo, this guy's going through some internal turmoil, and it's like, I feel like it's relatable personally.
I think you're proving my point, because you have just said that him thinking it in his head, telling us, and then immediately saying it out loud, the exact same things, is what is making you realise that you need to feel for Will. Animes don't do that. In fact, not anime, anything, TV, film, any kind of media, they don't need to tell you for you to understand that that's what's going on. They show you.
Yeah, but the relationship building is what makes this anime. The relationship between him, Mary, and Blood and Gus is what's making this anime so far. And the fact that it's a story of his journey out into the world to better himself from his past life and to complete the cycle of life and death. Like, I think that there's too many good points for it to be a bad anime. Yeah, could they improve? I agree, but like, come on, fam. Like, the journey, man, the journey.
This is episode 6, and everything that's happened so far could have just been in a synopsis. This isn't worth 6 episodes. Not only do they repeat dialogue, but they just keep repeating things. At first, Gus, Mary, and Blood are saying to Will, oh, okay, I think this is episode 3. Oh, we've got to leave you, Will. But it doesn't happen. Then we get to episode 4 again. The 3 of them are leaving him because of Stagnate. Oh, it doesn't happen. Episode 5 again. Oh, we're leaving. Like, okay, now the feeling is gone. I don't even have any emotion. Like, just do it already. Like, why are we having so many partings? How many partings do you have to have before it's done?
Look, it was a complicated situation, and they had to leave that way. And in order to show his valor and his determination towards his god/goddess, it had to be done this way. Look, the journey and the spirituality of this show is what's making it for me. And unfortunately, as you said, we're just going to have to disagree. I'm right in saying that, you know, it's a good anime, and you have your opinion on the matter. That's all.
This anime is boring. It's boring because of the constant repeating of things that do not need to happen. It does not need to happen. In fact, I would say that episode 6 is where the anime should have started. Everything before that could have literally been a flashback. Or if you didn't want to do it as a flashback, everything could have been condensed into one episode. I feel like the reason why they are repeating things and being so on the nose with so many things is because they don't know how to write interesting characters, and they don't know how to organically have relationships develop, and they don't know how to develop their characters in an organic way either. And so they have to keep telling us, Will is feeling things. Will is feeling things. Hey guys, do you remember? He has a past life. It's done terribly. It's done terribly. I've watched loads of isekai. where they show their backstories and they show what happened before in loads of different ways. And this is not it. This is probably the worst one I've seen so far.
Okay, you've made it clear that they repeat themselves, all right. But what else is wrong with it? Because you're saying that there's no interesting characters, but Gus is super interesting. The past between Mary and Blood and how they even foretold the fact that Will was going to be there, as in if they had a child, they'll name him Will. And that whole relationship was there. I feel that those characters were interesting and they made the show for me. It was the relationship, like I said before, between all of them and Will. And the fact that they built this really paladin warrior out of it.
I would say that the anime has loads of good concepts. Like, they have really great starting points, but it doesn't go anywhere. I don't agree that the relationships are built well. Yes, Gus is actually a good character. I agree. Gus's character is good, but it's not used in any kind of way apart from like a little funny thing here or there, or to be the serious element. It's like he's the only one that can be used in order to sort of shift the scenes so that you kind of understand everything that's going on around it. But that's because all of the other characters are really flat. It's unfortunate because, like I said, it has a good starting point, almost like they wrote down the skeleton of what they wanted each thing to be, but they just weren't skilled enough to put it together.
Wow. Okay, look. How would you have approached it then?
What do you mean, how would I have approached it? Am I an anime creator?
No. I get this. I'm not saying that you are. But what I'm saying is that you're saying that the other characters were flat. Like, how was Mary flat? How was Blood flat? They weren't flat. They were fully fleshed out characters. They had a whole life, a whole lore, and a whole backstory. Look, Mary has an inner turmoil thinking that she has been abandoned by her god and still venerates herself daily in order to keep Will alive. Like, that is deep, fam.
But they handled it badly and made it boring. I'm sorry, like, if someone else had handled it, it would probably be more enjoyable for me, but it just wasn't.
So
they are just too boring. They spent too long doing nothing.
So what you're saying is that Mappa should have handled this and it'd be okay?
Nah, Mappa's like a 50-50 studio.
Oh, no, come on, man.
That's a coin toss.
2021 was a Mappa year.
Yeah, but still.
So they're going to just move forward from this, right?
Maybe. And then what is also really bothering me is I actually thought that there must have been a time skip for what I saw on screen. I thought that maybe I just missed it. It must have said like 6 months later or like a year later. There must have been a training arc, but they just missed it out or something, because Stagnate comes, Will's dropping on the floor constantly. He didn't even try to fight him. And then he talks to the goddess for 2 seconds and all of a sudden he's spinning his spear in a circle and he's like, oh yeah, I'm on par with Stagnate. I could fight that dude. I'm gonna save Blood and Mary. Accelerate! Really?
Look, it wasn't a time skip, fam. Alright. Time stopped. And he had a one-on-one with his goddess. And she was like, you fulfilled the requirements. And even Stagnate said, you've got a sigil. Because of all the times he's been praying, doing the fasting, doing the whole quiet, silent prayer for 3 days, this, that, and the other, in order to prepare himself to embody the power of the goddess. My guy was on point when he had that little meeting with his goddess and realized that she was the one that ushered him into this world in the first place. Like, do you get what I mean? Come on, bro.
So then,
it's a beautiful story, bro.
So then, if the goddess then decides that she doesn't want him, he won't be able to fight anymore.
No, the goddess,
because he was doing some moves out there that people train for years to be able to do. Like, yes, I know he has. Yeah, but he was falling all over the floor when he was talking to Stagnate. He couldn't even do one thing.
He was afraid.
The difference is too much for a conversation.
Yeah, but we don't know how time works in a time stop, innit? Time don't exist.
Okay, well then maybe they should have spent time talking about that instead of saying over and over and over again the same 3 lines.
All right, Ruka. Look, we're not going to agree, so let's let the audience agree or disagree. Do you think Faraway Paladin right now is sick or not? Do you agree with Ruka that it's a waste of time so far?
It's basically a whole no.
Or do you agree with me, who's correct, obviously, that it's not a waste of time and it's actually a sick story and it's worth watching? Well, worth continuing to watch. Let us know in the comments what you think. Because me and Ruka are deadlocked on this. We won't agree. And Ruka's stubborn, innit? Like, she's just one of them stubborn people, innit? Who can't see a good anime sometimes when she's got it in her head that it's boring, even though it's not. Please don't hurt me.
I don't have to hurt you. From our picks of hot or nots, you've gotten it wrong more often than not.
Why you always gotta bring that up for, fam? Why you always gotta bring that up? Look,
because you said you're right.
I am.
I'm just telling the audience your track record.
Stop repeating yourself. You said this already. Oh, you're boring, fam. You're boring. Keep repeating yourself. You're boring. See? I guess it works in real life too. You're right. There's nothing that is not boring that does that. Yeah, bro.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
And if you made it this far, we really appreciate you.
Peace.